Hello, beautiful artisans on YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Echo Art with Carmella-T. So, I've got my hat on today, one of my hats I made, because I'm getting ready to make more of these hats. A musician had bought a hat from me a couple weeks ago over at the Guild, and so I thought, well, I'm going to make one to replace that, and someone has been asking me to make them. So I'm going to make some more of these. Now, every time I make a hat like this, a Boro Sashiko hat, it's either all hand stitched or I do top stitching and hand stitching, but they're always different because I use different parts of whatever it is, denim. It's usually denim pants, or jeans, but it could be, a skirt or jacket. But I have 3 denim jackets that I'm not going to repurpose. I'm not going to take apart. I'm going to actually embellish them with you. So I am really excited because I've been working on the bridge, and yeah, I'm very excited about this. I got a bunch of fabrics that I want to share with you. But I want to show you how this has come out and talk to you about, and I got to tell you, I had the needles out. I took this out because of the pins, and but I had my needle and thread. I was going to use up this particular skein because you could see it's almost done with. But and it's a nice cotton. There's no, and this is thrift shop, but there's no chemical on it or anything. So I was going to use that up, start stitching with that, and I haven't even gotten to the stitching. And this is the reason, before I started to stitch, here I'm going to show you this as I talk. I wanted to start laying out my fabrics. So let's see here if you can see. And I started with the piece, the part of this that I felt most comfortable with and I was just gravitating towards. I'm just going to turn this around, and we'll come up, we'll go up the so I wanted to start with these fabrics because they jump out at me. I totally love them. I don't know if you can see. This is the bottom underneath the bridge. And I just put the arches for decoration. Now, you might notice I cut off a piece here because this, as I noticed, first I was just going for the design, but then I noticed this was completely off balance from the sun up here. You'll see. I either had to paint over these because they're going to be covered with fabric most likely, but maybe not. But I could have painted over, moved them over, and added one more. And I decided just to take a piece off at the end. So that worked wonderfully. So you can see the Boro building on each of these pieces. And I'm totally loving this because, well, you can see the design, how lovely that looks. Now for the arch, over the where the water is going through here. But this, because I'm not trying to be technical, I'm not trying to be perfect in replicating a specific practicality or design in that way. I am looking at design. I'm just looking at how my eye flows. Now, because of that, these arches, I'm not sure what to do with these yet. So I just moved on to how I felt my energy was carrying me. And so the next part here, I guess I'm putting that, it's okay. The next part here, I want to explain. These are actually coasters that I made, and I just held on to them for some reason. They have a Chinese proverb here. One is harmony, and the other is charity. And so harmony, charity, and the other two, the words are not on there because this was a stamp. And I'll show you the stamp in probably next video. I have to, because I'm moving all my stuff around, but the stamp is a block like that. And then it has 4 sides to it. And it has the symbols with the words, but only 2 of them interpreted and the others didn't. So, I may try again, but so anyway, because they didn't interpret, I held on to this coaster set. I really didn't want to put it out for sale like that. And but I think they fit perfectly with the vibe of the black and white, of serenity here going on. And I was thinking, the life of a bridge, and, you have the flowers that are alive, but this is the road. And I'm going to put something here in the middle, and we're going to play with some fabrics and see. I'm just going to show you how I kind of just test the fabrics against here. So I'll show you that in a little bit. So now I'm going to show you the sun, which was the last thing I gravitated towards. So I'm going to bring this up. So this is in its very rough baby stage because, well, I'll show you. Actually, I'm going to turn this around now. So this sun, maybe I put these down. They're going to, okay. So this sun, I went back and forth. I'm going to show you. I went back and forth with different fabrics. This particular fabric I love. It's a blend. This is not organic silk or anything like that. It's a blend. But I love the color. I love the design. I love, love, love the design. It's just lovely. And so I was looking for a way to incorporate that design. Now I have not found it yet. Now, before I got to this, I was playing around with, I'm going to take these fabrics out. I was playing around with these fabrics. This lovely laced cotton and this lovely, very bright orange. Those 2 fabrics initially I was playing around with. And I was doing a Boro design. I was testing out mountains in the background. And so I was playing around like that, just taking time to envision or to embrace whatever it is I'm looking at. And as I was going with these fabrics, anyway, I want to show you these 2, and then I'll come back to that. But these 2 I particularly love. I love these 2 pieces of fabric. I don't know if they end up in here or not. But anyway, so I did the Boro Sashiko, I did the Boro building with these pieces, first large, then smaller, then lace, then mixed, and I didn't like it at all. So, and we'll come back to that because I want to show you a very fascinating thing that jumped out at me and how the creative mind works. But first, this is silk, and I would love to get this in the piece. This is vintage as it is. These flowers are vintage. The back to front hem is not vintage. And then these pieces are vintage except for the buffalo plaid. So I'm happy with the amount of vintage that we've got in here thus far. So And then, so this is how, I'm jumping around. I've got this to the side for the moment because I'm thinking the sky. And if you look at this is a marbled cotton. It's dyed. This is gorgeous. This is marbled blue to light blue. This is a perfect sky. So I don't know if this ends up behind the sun, but you're probably saying, well, wait a minute, Carmella, what are you doing about the sun's rays? Because they're sticking out there. Now, I thought for a moment these little fringes would be a lovely, lovely effect for the sun. So I left them on. And as I kept looking at this piece, and this is how the creative mind works, this is how it works. I'm looking at this piece, and there's something about it I know is trying to work up into my mind. And if you look at this piece, and then it just jumped out at me, you see this piece here in the design? Those are sun rays. Those are the sun rays. So what I did was I took, and these are stains, so you got to turn that over, but and I actually tried washing these out. So because I want those out, but I can't get them out. That's probably why they put them to the thrift. It's probably coffee. But anyway, it dyed it into it. So this, if you look at these for sun rays, and I don't know if I cut this down, this I would probably cut down, but I want to leave them two at a time like that. Now here's one. I just want to get this and show you the effect is going to be. Oh, here's the other one. Yeah. So here's another one. So, I mean, this is like crazy. These are just, and I can make them different sizes if I want to play around with that, but these are the sun's rays, and they were, look, and they're coming straight up in the middle of this piece. And this piece is cut and manipulated. It's cut away from its size because I was adding edging to it for the sun's rays. But look at that. So I've got these, and I'm going to cut these down. Those will be the sun's rays. Now, what's going to be behind them? I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking, this is how I'm playing around with it a little bit. I'm thinking this below a little bit. Oh God, yeah. I mean, look at that. You see that. That's just gorgeous right there. I mean, all you need to do is just see the contrasting there. So that, now this is a piece I'm working with. Now let's show you the other piece. I'm thinking for the sky. And I'm almost wondering I might play around, mix it up. But look at the lace on this. This is an organic fabric also. Now, I typically would not cut a blouse this beautiful, but this blouse was not made correctly, which is why it was in the thrift shop. It totally wasn't. The shoulders were way off. Now, I don't know if someone shrunk it inadvertently like that or tried to sew it that way, but it was not sewn correctly. And but look at this. So I said, well, I'm going to use it. Now, there's some gathering here, little shibori going on. And then you've got the lace. How lovely is that? And then just the plain part of it. But so I'm kind of playing around with that also. And I'll be kind of testing this out and seeing, and when I test these out, I'll be doing it in much more great detail. I'll be cutting these pieces down. I'll be stepping back and looking at them from a certain distance and looking at it close up. So I am so seriously thrilled that I figured that out. Now, do I just use this for the sun's rays? A couple things here. These pieces have to have some stitching, whip stitching or blanket stitching around the edges. So that will happen with these. I may put another piece in the back of it, like a cotton piece, and stitch it to just give it a little bit more substantial, adherence. The other thing is I'm probably going to paint, not that design. Maybe a wispy, I don't know, like a wispy little yellow, maybe. We'll see. I'll test it out. But I'm thrilled about this because now, unless something else comes along in my mind, that's where I'm going with the sun for the moment. Now, you're probably figuring, well, what are you going to do with the arches? But let me first put this back down and show you some more pieces that I was playing around with. I wanted flowers somewhere here. Now I know I have these, and these are lovely. These, I just love these. These are actually hand painted on there. They're either hand painted or no, you know what they are? They're screen printed. That's what they are. And I didn't, I have a little bit of this fabric. Here it is. I have a little bit of this fabric. Look at this fabric. This is screen printed. This is absolutely gorgeous. This is the kind of design. You take this design, I'm going to sip my coffee. You put it, let's see if I have any piece of fabric to show you. Yes. You put it doesn't have to be this color, but you take a beautiful piece. I'm going to probably do this because I just love this. But you take a little piece of this, and look, this even has, now this is embroidery. This someone used a hoop. They did very tight stitching, repetitive, beautiful, using a pattern. That's gorgeous. But you take a piece like this, and you take one simple flower like this, and you do a textile art. Or I guess you could take a few. But anyway, let's say we just focused on this one piece. So what I would do is some French knots. I would emphasize them. I would do a bunch of seed stitching. I mean, this is lovely. I might put lavender, soft pink in here. I don't know, but this is the type of thing you do. You can take one picture like that, image, a piece of art, and just put it on another piece of fabric with your Sashiko stitching and make a piece of art. Okay, so this I love, but I don't know if this goes anywhere in this art piece. This I love also. This is Aztec. Look at this piece. And it's a vintage 100% cotton. This is gorgeous. This is all I have of it. It was a remnant that I got. But you can see how tightly woven and well made it is, because look at the fringes. Look at the fringes. That's the fraying. And it's just beautifully tightened, so it's just going to go so far, stay that way for quite some time. So that's gorgeous. This piece I wanted in this whole piece also. Now you're probably trying to figure out, well, Carmella, what are you going to do with your iron bridge gate? So I don't know as of this moment, but I'm going to show you some prints that I'm thinking might complement this. I'm not sure. Now this piece I adore. This is a very beautiful, beautiful silk piece. It's absolutely beautiful. Um, I have used this in some art pieces, but I would love this. Now, when I put this against the sun, I'm just, I'm like, this isn't that great. I don't know if I can use pieces of this to make this pop, but I like the texture. I like the fringes here. I do. I like the design of this vintage piece. This is a beautiful, beautiful silk piece, but it is contemporary. But it's a beautiful piece. So we'll see. This is a very old, old, old lace piece. And I don't know, I just pulled it out because I'm not sure if it can be used as a transparency piece, like I put it over something. I don't know. I don't believe I want to cover these. I just want to see what that looks like for a moment. Yeah, no, it covers it completely up. So I'm not crazy about that. Now this piece, this is a blend and it's contemporary. This is going into the design. I believe I will be using this in this design. I initially had this coupled with the Boro stacking, and I was kind of playing around with it, seeing, well, can I put it in one more little stack in the center? And I decided not to because this is very, very thin. It's a blend, and it will not have the same effect after it's sewn or stitched. So anyway, this stays in my view. Um, these to me, these pieces, there's a lot of pieces here. This is going to be a little bit, I probably should have told you to grab your coffee because it's going to be, I got a number of pieces here. You could, you could put me on pause and get your coffee. I always wanted to say that. Anyway, this gate here, in my opinion, this gate demands a black cloth. I don't know if I'm correct about that, but I feel like it's demanding a beautiful black cotton. And so, and maybe if I can finesse things correctly, I can couple these. I don't know, but I'm loving, I just put that black there. I'm like, okay, this is it. So I'm not sure yet how to do that. That piece I don't like. Oh, and then I have another idea I'm going to share with you. It's a little out there. It's a little creative. Okay, so I'm going to put this piece here. And these I don't have any place for really. I put those over there. And this one, I kind of wanted to, this one is another piece I wanted to play around with the sun. I feel like I would love to brighten this a little bit. I don't really want to lose the this design because it comes up where the same design is flaring out as the flares. But this piece it's a flower. It's almost like a centerpiece somehow. So I'm kind of playing around with that. I like that. I've had that piece quite some time, and maybe this is coupled with this, and then to make this pop somehow, I'm thinking maybe little sporadic Boro pieces there. So this is a vintage piece. This and this. This is, I'm sorry, this, I'm not sure if this is. This might be borderline vintage, this piece. I'm not sure. It doesn't seem crispy and new, too contemporary, but this is definitely vintage here. Um, so, I mean, I like those together, but I don't know. So I'm keeping those in my view. This is contemporary out of the bin. I don't know about that, what to do with it as of this moment. Now, this is a piece right here that totally, you can see it. I know you can see it right off the bat why I like this piece. You know, it's got the geometrics perfectly. And I was playing around with that. And this is kind of given an effect of water. So I don't know about that. But this, I was playing around with the tracks, kind of going in between the road pieces here. So I was putting them underneath like this. I'll show you here. Well, I was putting them underneath. I just wanted to see, and I like it. I'm going to be honest. I like it. I like it. I like it. Now, I don't want to take a piece and cover this design because I love the design. And if I'm going for the aesthetics of this piece here, that's okay. Like I said, it doesn't have to be, you know, when you're doing art, as we know, we were talking about this. Sometimes the abstract just kind of takes over, and you're looking at it, and you're like, "Oh my, is that is that a bridge? Is it a house? Is it a cat? What is it?" That's okay because that's your interpretation or your feeling about it. It could be your feeling about it, your emotions about it. It could be your cognitive geo vision of it, kind of like that. It can be whatever you want it to be. That's why art is so precious and it is so therapeutic because it is yours. And if somebody doesn't like it, so what? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because it's something they can never really touch. They can't because they have not a clue. Like even me sharing the process, there's parts of this process I can't even put in words where it came from. So I'm trying. But yeah, so here's the geo design. So I'm keeping that in front view. This is Swirly Swirlies, which is on the tracks, and I love this. So this is on the track, but where else does it go if it goes? I don't know. So that one I keep close. Now I want flowers. I'm just going to show you these. I want some kind of flowers going on here, some kind of life. Um, and with that, these bees jump out at me too. I almost was thinking, I think I described in the other video, I would like to add some bees to the sun. I'm not sure. I really like that idea, so I might do that. But here's lemons, here's flowers, and I was mixing these flowers up. This is a vintage piece, which I would like to get in this piece also. But these flowers, if you mix them up the correct way, the way that gives a vibe that they're in the garden, I think they would go really beautifully. But I'm not sure yet if there's even room for those flowers. So I'm hoping that there is. So with that, let's see here. Then I had these for flowers too. I had these. So I'm not sure about those right now. This piece you saw at the very beginning. I love, love, love this piece. It hasn't worked its way into this art yet. And I pulled this out just to this is actually Kawandi design with Sashiko stitching, a Boro method of Sashiko stitching. So I pulled it out because I just wanted to play around with what a piece like this would look like. Now, because I'm staying more, when you do a piece like this, right here, these pieces. Really, in my view, a minimalist style of Boro Sashiko. Let me put this up here a second. These are a minimalist because I have 3 pieces and it's just an independent design. It's as far as I'm going. I could stitch this whole piece. It would still be a small independent. This has many pieces, and this is the Quandi method we ended up here. But it's a lovely piece, and it's whip stitched. I could do something with this. I have so many pieces like this. And you know why? What happens is I'm working on a project and I always test out like designs. And if I don't like the design, I put it to the side, but I don't throw it away ever. I put it in my drawer and I keep it. So there, those are. Now, this is a bag that I got probably 5 years ago at the thrift shop, and it's cutesy. You can see why I got it. It's just adorable for, and I was using it for grocery like a bread bag because at the time, for some reason, at that time, every single time I got bread, it got crushed. Don't know why. So I went into that grocery store with a separate bag for the bread. I did that for quite some time. But this is a beautiful heavy cotton, and this might go very well here on the gate bridge, on the bridge. It might. So that's a thought. I'm not crazy about it for some reason for that. That's going to be a lot of testing because I keep gravitating towards this also. This and this. I keep gravitating towards this. I'm just going to put it here for a moment. And this, like next to each other for the gate bridge. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. That will be a test. Now, I want to share something else with you. Okay, my thoughts on mixed media. I do like mixed media. I do. I like mixed media. The one thing, and my mom would do mixed media. She did it in such a style that, it didn't look crafty. Now, I don't want to say crafty. There's nothing wrong with being crafty at all. That's a whole category in itself. But there's something about an artistic flair where you're balancing between the craft and the art. And if, for example, if you use lots and lots and lots of beads, let's say, in a wall piece, that is a beaded piece. It's no longer like like you could have your Boro Sashiko, but if you have it covered in beads, people are going to see the beads, and it could very well be classified just a beaded piece. So if you're doing a textile piece, you have predominantly textiles in it. It's a textile art piece. This is textile art. That's what that falls into. Fiber art, fabric art. These are synonyms I've heard and used. And so now with that said, I kind of want to stay within the realm of the textile art or the fabric art. Now, I got this idea though. I'm just going to put this down because I want to do this idea with you. I got this idea because every time we were looking at the bridges, right? I kept seeing gold. Like we were seeing gold. We were seeing, the gates. And I know these are just pins. That's all these are. But and they're different sizes. They're different sizes and they're even different. Some are silver. I got this at the craft, like $1 at the textile, at the thrift shop. So I was thinking I was going to mess around a little bit with tracks for with being cautious that I don't get too crafty now that I explained it all. That's so I'm kind of messing around with that a little bit. So I really wanted to share that with you because you can make your piece whatever. If you want it to be a really mixed media piece, then that's what it's called, mixed media. Um, or if you want it to be textile, but anyway, so let's see. I think, oh, and this is the blue. This is the latest piece I had gotten, that my artisan friend gave me, and I love, love, love this blue. This blue is not a typical blue. This is definitely vintage, and it is 100% cotton, and it is the, the it's got to be a very specific dyed color because I'm seeing green, blue. I know yellow is in here somehow, maybe not to the degree you see it, and white, but that's the mixture. I can see it in here. Anyway, I mean, not like the blue is what you see, but that's how they got it. That's just gorgeous. So I'd love to have this part of the piece. So with that, um, I will continue the next video on this. You'll see the stitching. These will all be stitched. I'll have figured out the arches by then and the gates. And I also want to say thank you so much. I'm just looking around for this piece. Wanted to share with someone. Let me just get, here it is, right here. A viewer made a comment on using a piece here for the road that is textured. And she was talking about crochet, I believe. And I have this drop stitch knitted piece, and I haven't done away with this. Let me just put this down. So I haven't done away with it because look at this for tracks. Let's just try a couple here because seriously. No, I had this on here and it was going, I thought, and I may end up adding it. I may end up using it if I can't get those the way I want. Now, if I put those on top, I don't believe I still get that effect. But the effect of this is absolutely seriously lovely. And I could almost make a second piece with just this and then have this piece with this. Why did I shy away from it? I thought maybe it was too distracting from the sun, which I hadn't even done yet. So I may come back to this, but this is a piece I made on the knitting machine. And I was trying to drop stitch it, which I did in the middle. That's what's giving it its ridges. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity with this piece. And I totally love your suggestions because this is how we get inspired, and then you test it out. And it also, the challenge is working with what you have. It's like, taking these fabrics. Now, these hats are different. People look at them and they do, some people get it, some people don't, some people are wondering. And the concept is use what you have and create, and recreate, repurpose, and you will be surprised. You will come up with things that you would never thought of if you were just basing it, let's say, on another pattern, or you were able to go to the store and buy the kit. This way, you're like, wow, what on earth can I do with this, and how can I do it, and what do I have? So anyway, with that, I hope that you're inspired by this. I would love to know if you're making one, and I think some of you said that you were. And over on Patreon, we're having some changes come June 1st. I have gotten a very good response from my members, and I think it's going to be a good change. We're going to have just one tier over there where we have everything under, you know, our videos and live stream, and I always meet the quota, whether it's just 1 or 2 videos, 2 videos a month and 1 live stream, and then chatting. But guess what? We go all month long. Like, I never just do 1 or 2. I go all like, that's my go-to to share updates on my other projects. So we've got that going on over there if you want to visit us. And the link is, I put the link down here, but the link's also up on my YouTube also. So if you want to join us over there, you know, it's a place you can chat back and forth, and in a friendly, safe community. And that's what I love about it, is it's highly monitored by Patreon and by me. So we want the positive there. That's the way you can think artistically and creatively. You can share, bring your things in, and you can share, if you want, your photos of your work. So with that, I thank you so much for being with me, and you have a beautiful day, and we'll see you in the next one.